Hi, everyone. So first of all, let's introduce myself 1 second. I'm Danilo Fattorini, half Italian, half Dutch. I've been studying here in Holland, so it was a great pleasure to come back for this opportunity. And I specialize in startup creation and management here in Holland. Until I worked in different startups until 3 years ago when I first met Francesco, who founded this Italian startup called To Be. And I'm the CEO, and it was love at first sight with the company, but also with the technology. I skipped some parts. So basically, I've been pitching LiFi pretty much every day to all kind of audiences. Usually I talk to schools or to public institutions, to corporations, to basically always people that know nothing about LiFi. So all I have to say is like, we send data through light and everyone is amazed, and it's very easy. And then I have to talk in front of LiFi experts, and I was asking myself, what can I talk about that it's interesting to them? Probably not much. It's not as technical as other talks we saw today. But I think we have been missing a point today, which is the point of view of the market, what's needed out there. We talked a lot about where LiFi is going, where the technology is going, and what we can do with this technology, but we didn't talk enough about what we can do today with the technology, because I think it already reached a level of maturity. So what I want to do today is to give you a feedback from the market, since we've been implementing quite a few projects. We're going to look into it. And I think we might have something to learn from it. Few more words about To Be, otherwise it's hard for you to understand my point of view. So To Be is a startup doing mainly system integrations. So we have been taking your hardware and apply it in different contexts. And this takes some level of customization or adaptation. We develop softwares to make it easier. Sometimes we just do the project development. And whenever I always do market research, of course, I need to be up to date about where LiFi is. And nowhere you read about what's going on in Italy. And we get a bit offended sometimes, because we've been doing quite a bit. And all over Italy, as you can see, we have more than 20 projects already implemented. And it's not experimentation, like people pay for these projects. So that's what I mean when I say, yeah, LiFi, it's still growing. It still the technology needs to be more mature, but we can already do some stuff with it. We also did many NDB projects never done before, in particular archaeological park in Italy, but also on a ferry boat. We did many schools, we did all kind of environments. And how was this possible? I think the key for us was the effort we put pitching LiFi, teaching people about the existence of this technology. And as I said, everyone usually gets very excited immediately, because the concept of LiFi, it's beautiful in my opinion. And this way, by pitching, by simply evangelizing the word about LiFi, we managed to get the attention of institutions. And I think this is a key part, because many Italian institutions, public, but also corporates, TLC companies, utilities, they all got excited about it, and they gave us a lot of support. We have public tenders in Italy mentioning specifically LiFi. This is you don't see it many other places, and I believe we did a decent job there, and I think much more is coming. And of course, the next generation EU will be another great opportunity, and we are working on that as well. Well, these are some of the projects we have been doing. So first of all, we call everything LiFi, but I think there is a bit of confusion also in the literature between what's VLC, OCC, LiFi. We call everything LiFi. This is maybe arguable, but we did many OCC projects, especially in museums, hospitals, and then we did like pure LiFi connection, internet connection inside schools, hospital, and offices, and also point-to-point. This is the latest introduction, but I think it has also a huge potential. So FCO, I believe, is the technical word for it. Let's take a deeper look at museums. Museums is our main market at the moment. It's also the most uncomfortable. Like when you go inside museums, you cannot build many things. You cannot make a little hole sometimes, because it's historical buildings. But one thing all museums have is light. Like, they need light. So there is already an existing infrastructure, and we try to adapt. So what we do mainly is to, as I said before, take the hardwares that are already out there and adapt it to different situations. And this way we develop many projects, especially in museums. And maybe one that it's worth mentioning that we've been, I'm really attached to, it's some accessibility services, because we did some POC showing how VLC technology can be used to create indoor navigation services, but with a new level of accuracy. And with this level of accuracy, with just few centimeters marginal error, you can actually support a blind person or visually impaired person moving freely around the museum. We did some small POC, and we have much bigger projects already planned going on this year. And I think this is remarkable. And also the Italian Ministry of Culture recognized it. They made a text where they explained how VLC and LiFi technologies can improve accessibility. And so we will have probably more opportunities and more public auction mentioning this. We did many projects inside schools in Italy all around. Yeah, this was also very interesting. And also it's amazing to see how also young generations get really excited about it. Like, they like the concept of it. And I think it's important to stimulate the new generations about what opportunities are out there, because at the end of the day, most people never heard of LiFi. And I think it's a pity, because LiFi has been around for some time, and I think it's quite ready. And this is our latest project, and also particularly exciting. So this started from a market request. So probably the most important hospital in Rome this year, a few months ago, they launched a new application, and they have indoor navigation systems, but not with LiFi, not VLC, but with beacons, Bluetooth, and other technologies. They have, I tested it myself. We're talking about a marginal error of at least a couple of meters, at least in those applications. So it's really not accurate, yet it's working. They need it. They are developing services with it. So we reached out to our network. We have, some contacts also in the healthcare sector. We're like, hey, look what they're doing in Rome. What if we can do the same, but much more accurate, much more performing? They got excited as much as us, and that's how it started. So we did some POCs, some small projects inside 3 museums in the Campania region around Naples, basically. But it's just the beginning, because this was just to show what can be done, and it was much appreciated. And now we are working on the real project, which means taking an entire hospital with VLC technology. And it's not even particularly complicated, because you just copy what's already out there and make it better in terms of performance. And so that's what we are working on mainly in the last month. Okay, this is just a little impression of, we set up these totems, and you can show the concept of, one lamp is one content, the other lamp is another one, but then we put more lamps, and you actually have indoor navigation, so your position on a map. And what did we learn with these experiences? I think the most important take, I'm sorry for the informality, but LiFi is sexy. People love the concept of LiFi, the concept of sending data through light. And it fits all the development goals of institutions, of the next Gen EU we talked about, and simply what most administrations are doing, trying to get more sustainability, trying to digitalize services, and also more cybersecurity. And I think LiFi fits all these main pillars. LiFi is also fragmented. That's why we are here. Huh? This is an effort to try to put everyone together, but it's still not the case. Since we are on the other side, we do the softwares, and we try to use all the hardwares available. We try to test them all and see what works better and apply the best one in every context. And it's hard to mediate between all the different hardwares. So I think we need to make bigger efforts to make everything compatible. We do it on our side, so from the software side, but I think these events are really important, and there should be more to try to converge a bit, because together I think we can do much more. Like there's not much to fight yet. It's still a small market, but the potential is so big that there is enough for everyone. That's why collaboration is the key, in my opinion. So we need more cooperation for sure. We need more system integration. So someone that actually is not biased and is ready to try them all without prejudice and see what fits best. And more startups, because sometimes I remember one professor once told me, like, in a corporation to do innovation, you need to convince at least 6 old men. In a startup, you just need to convince yourself. And probably you will fail, but at least it's easier to start and try to do innovation. So I believe we should try to make a little effort to create an ecosystem for LiFi startups to appear. I took a few numbers from LiFi venture capital market. Not really accurate. It's not easy to get these numbers, but we are not far from it. It's 100 millions worldwide in 2021, I meant, and less than 50 in EU. There are no incubators or accelerators specialized in LiFi or light communication, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because as I said here, probably you have more expertise than me. So sometimes I just say things so that you can correct me and help me understand, because the market is not always so transparent. But as far as I know, there are no incubators specialized in it. There are no investment funds specialized in LiFi. We have been incubated in different environments, and there is never any expertise about light communication. So I think the whole market and LiFi technology as a whole can benefit from this kind of supports. Yeah, this was just to say that only peanuts until now. But something is happening. Like, we are closing our first investment round now, and we managed to get the attention of the most important institutions in Italy. I didn't expect it myself, but it was easier than expected. So this kind of reinforced what I was saying before, like LiFi is much appreciated, people need it. And so I think if we try, we can help other startups to appear and to make these products and this technology widespread. Well, we mentioned these things. I just want to close with auspicion, with a hope. For example, 2 months ago, we organized in Italy a hackathon. So an event with all high schools, not all high school, but maybe 4 or 5 different high schools. And all these kids they had 3 days to think about what they would do with this technology. And then the best ones were taken to the next level, and they could develop their projects for 3 months until a final event where one group got a prize. And it's amazing how even high school kids can be creative, because they don't have biases, they don't have limits to their imagination. And they came up with things that are very interesting, and we are taking into consideration for our next developments. And I think we could do this on a much bigger scale. So while I thank you for your attention, I also think, and I hope that maybe next year we can make it a bit more open, maybe to university, not high school, maybe they're still a bit young, but here we are in a tech campus with a lot of young technical experts who are eager to test themselves. So maybe, who knows, next year we can try to involve students, companies, and institutions to make a 48 hours hackathon or something like this, to try to stimulate more innovation from a market perspective. Thank you very much.